As we get closer and closer to Q4, the name of the game is listing as much as you can and, if possible, getting those items listed on multiple platforms so that more eyes can see your products. If you want to see how I cross-list both with and without ListPerfectly, stay tuned.
Won't nobody love you the way they should. Won't nobody check up on you, make sure you're good. Won't nobody check those body tremors for your neck. All they really
Hey everyone, my name is Becky Park and I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. And when I'm not reselling, I'm a full-time choir teacher. And as you can hear, it is kind of like killing my voice right now. It's just been a really busy season at work and I've been having to use my voice a lot lately and you can hear the effects of it. So I apologize if I sound a little bit hoarse. But as busy as it may be at school, it's getting even busy as a reseller because the months of October, November, and December are considered Q4, Q4, which is the busiest shopping season for most people. And that's when most retailers and even most resellers make the most of their money in the fiscal year. Now, I am going to have a video next week about how to prepare for Q4 as a reseller, but in today's video, we're going to be talking about how can you cross-list or cross-post your items from one platform to another one or to two other ones or even three other ones as quickly as possible. So first I'm going to show you how I cross-list without using ListPerfectly, and then I'm going to show you how I cross-list using ListPerfectly and show you the difference in time as well as the difference in just like the steps that you need to take to cross-list. So before we go any further, I want to provide some context as to where I even list my items as a reseller and then talk to you a little bit about ListPerfectly as a cross-listing tool. So first of all, like I said, I am a part-time reseller. I have been selling on Poshmark for close to 2 years now, and only recently did I start cross-listing over onto Mercari, and even more recently did I start cross-listing over onto eBay as well. On Poshmark, I have over 600 active listings. On eBay, I probably have a little over 200, and on Mercari, it's probably in that 200 range as well. So what I've started to do probably in the last month pretty religiously is every time I put something on Poshmark, I'm also putting it on eBay and Mercari in hopes that I can get more eyes on that particular item and then every item will sell a little bit faster. Not only that, but there are just certain brands or certain items that do better on certain platforms. So, while I will still list some more mature brands over on Poshmark and have sold them on Poshmark, brands like Eileen Fisher or brands like Flax, I have heard and definitely have found to be true that those types of brands definitely sell better over on eBay. Mercari for me is kind of like a wild card for anything. Like I haven't really figured out what sells really well over on Mercari. Although I do feel like brands like Torrid and even Old Navy do tend to do better for me over on Mercari, but that's kind of I'll just list it over there and hope for the best. And I always get like a handful of sales over on Mercari each week. But generally speaking, Poshmark and eBay are where I'm making the bulk of my sales, and because I find that there are different types of things that will sell over on both of those platforms, I just go ahead and try to get everything listed on both so that more people can see all of those items. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to actually go through and show you what it's like on my computer to cross-list one item using the old traditional just kind of copy and paste method, as well as what it's like to list an item using ListPerfectly. Now, in case you don't know what ListPerfectly is a Chrome extension that was just released maybe a couple months ago, maybe 2-3 months ago. And what ListPerfectly allows you to do is it allows you to take all of your information from one listing. So let's say you're using Poshmark, and it will take your Poshmark listing and take all the information from it and allow you to plug and chug it onto other reselling platforms. You can also, if you want, create your listing directly into ListPerfectly instead of pulling information from one listing on one reselling platform. You can just put all your information into ListPerfectly directly and then use that to put the information into whatever reselling platforms you want. I personally like to list directly onto Poshmark first because it's really fast for me, and I will list to Poshmark on my phone because all of my pictures are on my phone. In order to use ListPerfectly to cross-list, I do believe you have to use a laptop or desktop computer. I don't think that you can cross-list from your phone. Now, I understand that having to use your laptop or desktop may be very limiting for some people, but to me, being able to use ListPerfectly honestly makes it worth it. ListPerfectly is a subscription service service, you do have to pay for it monthly if it's something that you want to use. And I will put my affiliate link for it down below in case you do want to give it a try. I do believe that they have a short trial period where you can try it for free. I don't remember how long the trial period is now. And I do believe that because there is such a large interest in ListPerfectly, there is a waiting period, and I've heard that it is about a week from when you sign up to when you can actually start using ListPerfectly. It is still rather new. Like I said, it only came out like 2 or 3 months ago, and I believe it's a 2-woman team, so sometimes there are some technical difficulties, sometimes their server is down, and they are doing a lot of maintenance in like the middle of the night, maybe like once or twice a week, just to try to combat some of those issues. But regardless of the fact that they are a startup, regardless of the fact that they're still trying to get their stuff together, it, I think, has been a game changer for myself. Before, it would take me like, I don't know, maybe close to an hour to list 10 items and get them cross-listed from Poshmark over to Mercari and eBay. And now I do it really in almost half that amount of time, which allows me to get so many more listings up. And that's the goal, is to get as many listings up as possible, but not have to waste your whole life doing it. So for ListPerfectly, there are 3 tiers of services that you can choose to purchase on a monthly basis. I utilize the middle tier because it allows you to do certain things that you cannot do in that basic tier. And of course, I can't remember off the top of my head what those things are, but one of them, I believe, is the ability to transfer pictures from one platform over to the other. And I don't know, there's a few other things that I was just like, nope, I can't live without that. So I do personally pay $49.99 a month, but in my opinion, it is well worth it. So let's get right into the screen videos I took on my computer of myself cross-listing both with and without ListPerfectly. Now, I do want to put this out there and say that it has been forever since I have cross-listed without ListPerfectly, so you are going to see me fumble quite a bit when it comes to cross-listing without ListPerfectly. And especially because typically when I used to cross-list, I would do it on my phone back in the day. But because I wanted to really do like a side-by-side comparison of what it was like on the computer, I wanted to go ahead and show you what that looked like. So, you know, when I show you my timer, it's going to show that it took me like 9 minutes to take a listing from Poshmark and cross-list it to Mercari and to eBay. It probably normally wouldn't take me as long, especially if it's something that I have been doing for a while and I was like in my groove a little bit more than what you're going to see in this video today. But like I said, I was just like really forgetting how to do basic things like use my computer or just, I don't know, go from one platform to the next. So you have to kind of keep that in the back of your mind, and you have to remember that I have been using ListPerfectly on a daily basis for the last few months, and that's why I am able to move around a lot faster while using that. So take those things into consideration. But that being said, let's get into the screen videos. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be pretty rusty when it comes to cross-listing without ListPerfectly, but you'll see me do the very best that I can. So as you can see, I have my Poshmark closet open, and I'm going to go ahead and click on my closet as well as click on Just In to see which items I most recently listed. And as you can see, I have a lot of items that are from the wholesale box that I got from Via Trading. So I'm going to decide for this cross-listing example without ListPerfectly to do this pair of Citizens of Humanity jeans. They are bootcut jeans, and like it's a style 001 Kelly or something like that. So you see me going into the listing from Poshmark, and I copied the description, which I didn't have to like go into edit listing in order to do this, but you also see me going through to each picture and right-clicking on it and saving it to my computer. I think I'm saving it like in the downloads folder, and I'm giving each picture a name, so I'm listing it as like jeans 1, jeans 2. And the reason for this is because, like I said earlier, I primarily list on eBay and Poshmark and Mercari or whatever. I primarily list from my phone because all of my pictures are on my phone, and I don't really have a lot of space on my computer to have all of these pictures just like hanging out on my computer. So for that reason, I don't even have these pictures on my phone to begin with, so I have to go ahead and like manually download them and put them in my computer. So that's what you see me doing right now. There's probably a faster way to do this, but this is just the way that I'm doing it. And you probably also saw me like fumble, like I was trying at first to just right click the picture without like clicking on it, and what it was giving me was the option to save like the website link or something like that, and obviously that's not what I want, so I'm having to individually click on each picture. I think the option is to like edit the photo, and when I'm in that particular window, it is allowing me to download just that picture, and then you will see me later use these pictures to put those pictures into eBay and Mercari. And you will also see me fumble quite a bit when it comes to putting those pictures into eBay and Mercari. So I'm going to go ahead and I think, yeah, I finished that. So now I'm going to copy the description, because I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that into the description of both Mercari and eBay. So here I am in Mercari. It actually takes me a hot second to even figure out, like, where do I go to sell an item? And so I finally find it. I clicked on my little like profile thing, and here I am where I can list a new item in Mercari. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into my downloads folder on my computer, and I'm going to go ahead and start dragging the pictures that I just downloaded from my computer on Poshmark into Mercari. Now you're going to see me stumble quite a bit here, and basically if I try to drag pictures from the downloads folder into Mercari, and if that little like green plus sign shows up, then what it does is it shows those pictures in a new window for some reason, and I don't understand why that is. So in Mercari, what I found was when I drag it, I have to make sure that that plus sign is not there when I release the picture. Otherwise, it will open in a new window, and I have to go back to my prior window, and any information that I may have had in there, or any pictures that I may have, successfully gotten into the listing are gone. So you'll see me slowly start to figure it out that I cannot drag it in with that little plus sign when I release. I have to, select the picture and let go of it into Mercari without the green plus sign. All that being said, I finally figure out how to do it, and I finally at some point figure out too, I don't have to individually drag pictures over, but I can, select the pictures that I want, and I can add a new picture to that selection by using my shift button on my keyboard. Regardless, after some struggling, we finally get all the pictures in there. And then you're going to see me copy and paste the description from Poshmark into the description on Mercari. You're also going to see me refer back to Poshmark pretty often just to see some information regarding like maybe fabric content or maybe the size. So I do like to keep my Poshmark window open just because I don't have all of that information memorized off the top of my head. So now you see me putting in the information regarding the brand, the size, the condition of the item, how I'm going to ship it. And by the way, I do like to ship myself on Mercari, and I just use Pirate Ship to make it cheaper than if I were to use Mercari shipping, which is ridiculous. And I will link that video here. So Mercari, it's somewhat painless because, they don't require that much information. And yeah, I mean, even though I couldn't figure out how to get those dang pictures in there, you saw that it didn't take that much time. So here I am on eBay. What I did was I went ahead and searched for the pair of jeans on eBay using their search function so that I can just say sell similar. That is much faster in my opinion than if I were to go through and start a new listing from scratch. What I did was I found someone else who was selling Citizens of Humanity jeans in the same style as mine, and I opened up their listing, and I'm looking right now for the little button that says sell similar or sell one like this, because then what it's going to do is it's going to pull up that person's listing and allow me to use all their information. So I finally found it. It looks differently than what I remember from when I used to Crosslist back in the day without ListPerfectly, but it did the same thing. I clicked on it and it brought up their listing with all of their information. So now I'm going through and I'm making adjustments because my listing isn't exactly the same as theirs, but it is pretty similar. So here I'm just changing like the listing around a little bit. I'm referring back to my Poshmark listing because I want to make sure that the sizing is correct. I'm also looking at the fabric content here because I wanted to see if there was any elastane or spandex in the making of this pair of pants, because if so, then I was going to put stretch as one of the keywords, but there is no spandex or elastane, so I didn't use that as a keyword. But you see me now trying to put these darn pictures in, and I think I actually figure it out and do it much faster here on eBay than I did on Mercari, but you are going to see me still struggle here. Let's see. So yep, there was that little green plus sign, and it brought me to this new page, and that's not what I want. So you're going to see me have yet another go of it. So here I am in Add Photos. I think this is the time that I finally figure out how to just do them all at once. The green plus sign is there, but it's okay because I don't have any pictures in this listing to begin with. So I successfully got all 8 pictures in there at once. And now I'm going to go in and make revisions based off of this person's listing. So again, my pants are on a different size than the other person's pants were in. You see me go in and check the inseam because on eBay you can put what the inseam measurement is. It's kind of hard for me to see what the actual measurement is looking at my picture just because it was so small. So I think I decided to leave it blank. Maybe I put it in. I put it in? Okay, I put it in. And then I put in the color, and I'm just going through and seeing if there are any additions I want to make based off of what this person had created in his or her original listing. And I'm just scrolling through. There's not much else that I want to add. I did want to add that it was machine washable. And then this is where I'm going to make some adjustments given, the price and how I want to ship it out and all that kind of stuff. And you'll actually see me go back later too on Mercari. On Mercari, I listed them for a little bit less than I wanted to, and that's because I wasn't looking at the Poshmark listing. I was just going off of my brain. Now, I don't offer free shipping on everything. What I like to do is on eBay, I will do a flat shipping cost regardless of where the people live, and I will just kind of put my own shipping price. This is what the buyer has to pay, and if it ends up being more than that, I'll just cover what the extra amount is, and I'm fine with that. And right now I'm just putting in like random measurements for the package as well as for the weight, and I will put in a more accurate description for that later when I actually sell the item. And here you can see I actually forgot to do something. I can't see what it is right now, it's so small, but I forgot to put the description, so I have to put that description in there. And again, it's because when I use ListPerfectly, the description is already there. So now I'm going to list the item. As you can see, that whole process took me about 9 minutes, but that did involve some fumbling around as well. So now let's try cross-listing using ListPerfectly. As you can see on my Poshmark closet, there is a little like thumbnail or button above each listing that says copy to ListPerfectly. So I just selected a pair of pants. Again, they are from my Via Trading box, and I pressed that button that said copy to ListPerfectly, and it brings me immediately to this page. And what it's doing right now is ListPerfectly is pulling all of the data, all of the information, all of the pictures from my Poshmark closet and putting it into its own specific listing on its site. And so here it is, it has all of my information, and now I'm going to click on the little icon or the little Chrome extension over to the right on the top right of my screen. And here it shows all of the different platforms that I could potentially relist this item on, and I go ahead and I click on both Mercari and eBay at the same time so that I can start putting that information into both of those platforms at the same time. It always takes a little bit longer for eBay just because eBay needs a little bit more information. So while it's putting that information over on eBay, I go ahead and start working on my Mercari relisting or cross-listing. I always have to end up changing the listing title a little bit because Mercari doesn't allow for as many characters as Poshmark, and certainly not for as many as eBay. So I always have to take out some words or just kind of get creative. The description is already there. I go ahead and put in my keywords. I do need to put in the category, the size, and the brand name. I put in the condition. I put in where it's shipping from, and I decide how shipping is going to work. Again, I'm going to ship it myself for free for the buyer, and look at that. I'm done within a matter of seconds. And now here I am over on eBay. Again, I'm going to adjust the listing just a little bit because it allows me to put in some more information, and I want to take advantage of that. So you see me just putting in some more information that I couldn't fit in my Poshmark listing. I do still need to indicate the condition of the item over on eBay. This happens to be new with tags, but you can see a lot of the information regarding like the brand, although I did have to adjust that, the size, just different attributes or features of this particular pair of pants. That information has already made its way into eBay from ListPerfectly, which saves me so much time. It's similar to, you know, finding an item that already exists or finding a listing that already exists on eBay and just pulling up that item and using that person's listing information, but it cuts out the amount of time that it takes for me to A, find another listing that is similar to my own, and B, having to edit the information that, you know, the other seller put in their listing. So here you're seeing me just kind of look at my original Poshmark listing and pictures to see if there's any stretch in this particular pair of pants. There are, so I put that in there as a feature. You see me just going through and seeing if there are any accents that I'm missing. This particular pair of pants happens to have a raw hem, so I included that in there. You see me put in the fact that this is machine washable, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in information regarding my shipping and pricing. I am going to go ahead and list this at, you know, a 99 list ending mark, whatever, I can't talk right now, ending in 99 cents versus a dollar amount, because that's what most people do on eBay. You also see me choose not to do promotional listings, which I typically do promotional listings on all of my eBay listings of at least 1%, but I just watched a Rally Roots video yesterday where they kind of talk about the fact that eBay is not showing promoted listings as organic listings, and I will link that video here too because I think that that's actually a huge deal. Anyway, you can see that that process of cross-listing one item over to eBay and Mercari using ListPerfectly so much faster than trying to cross-list without ListPerfectly. In fact, it only took me 4 minutes, whereas, you know, cross-listing without ListPerfectly took me 9 minutes. So less than half the time to do it, which means you are able to get, you know, twice as many listings up in the same amount of time. In my book, that is well worth it. Alright guys, if you found those tutorials helpful, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up. Now, I do want to throw out there too this disclaimer that this video is in no way sponsored by ListPerfectly. They don't even know that I'm making this video. I don't think that they know who I am. I just love their product so much because it has made cross-listing so much easier for me. Even if this video hasn't convinced you to sign up for ListPerfectly, hopefully what it has at least opened your eyes to is the realm of possibility that's out there if you decide to cross-list. Like maybe you're watching this and you're only selling on one platform. If you are a new reseller, I think that that's the way to go for a bit of time, is to just focus on one platform and just understand what reselling is and kind of get into your groove as far as what reselling is going to look like for you. But once you feel like you've hit your stride a bit, and if you feel like you're in this place right now, then I feel like cross-listing onto another platform is definitely the way to go, especially going into Q4, because that's how you're going to get more eyes on your products and you're going to be able to sell through items more quickly. Whether you do that with or without ListPerfectly is completely up to you, but hopefully thanks to this video you'll have some tips and tricks on how to cross-list, and you have the information about this new product that's out there to help you cross-list even faster. So as we get ready to get into Q4, I hope that you're able to utilize everything that you learned in this video to help you make even more money in Q4, or even now as we approach Q4. That's it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, especially learning how to continue stepping up your game as a reseller, then make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any other videos from me. You can also check out this video right here where I'm telling you about how to improve the quality of your pictures as a reseller. Thank you guys so much, and I hope that you guys have some amazing sales this week and that Q4 for all of us is just lucrative. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!